All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to take what looks like a super dry technical file and show you the hidden story of digital craftsmanship inside. We're talking about the art of the code editor. So get this. The source file for today's Explainer, it's got this amazing name in Vietnamese, Me Huet Cut Tok. And what does that mean? It means the art of haircutting. And I know what you're thinking, right? Haircutting, coding, what's the connection? Well, as it turns out, a lot. And that brings us to the core idea here. I want you to think of your code editor like a salon. Your code, that's the hair. It can be messy, it can be tangled, or it can be styled perfectly. And all your settings, well, those are your tools. Your scissors, your combs, your styling gels, everything you need to turn that code into a total masterpiece. You're not just a coder, you're the stylist.
So where does any good stylist start? With the consultation, of course. Before we even think about making a cut, we have to understand the client, and in this case, the client is you. We need to figure out your core preferences. It's all about making sure you're comfortable and establishing that foundation of privacy and trust. The very first question your editor asks is basically, hey, can I trust the code in this folder? This is called Workspace Trust, and it's handled by a setting called security.workspace.trust.enabled. You can think of it like locking the salon door until you've had a chance to meet the client. It's a really crucial safety check, you know? It stops any potentially sketchy code from running on its own and makes sure your workspace is safe and professional right from the get-go.
Okay, so once we know the space is safe, the next part of our consultation is about personal boundaries. The editor wants to know, what are you okay with sharing? And just to be clear, this has nothing to do with your actual code. It's all about how you use the editor itself. And this whole thing is managed by a setting called telemetry.
And the cool thing is, you're in complete control here. This telemetry.telemetry level setting gives you 4 really straightforward options. You can go with all and share everything to help the developers make the tool better, or you can dial it way back to just error and crash reports. And hey, if you want total privacy, you just turn it off. Simple as that. It's your digital salon, so you make the rules.
All right, consultation is done. Now for the fun part, the haircut itself. We're going to start sculpting the actual look and feel of your code. This is all about shaping your visual environment, so it's super clear, comfortable, and just easy on the eyes. Now, the most basic tools for shaping your code's look, it all comes down to the font. I mean, just like a stylist picks the right pair of scissors, you're going to pick the right font family to get the perfect feel. Maybe you want something clean and simple, or maybe something a bit more stylish with font ligatures, where it combines characters into a cool single symbol. Then you dial in the font size and font weight to make sure it's all perfectly readable. It really is the difference between a sharp, professional cut and something that's, well, a total mess. It's amazing how one single setting can completely change your entire workflow. So look, with Word Wrap off, you've got these long lines of code just running right off the screen. You're scrolling sideways forever. It's like trying to style hair in a wind tunnel. But just flip editor.wordwrap to on, and bam, everything just neatly wraps to fit inside your screen. No more horizontal scroll. It's such a simple fix for a much, much cleaner workspace. Okay, let's be real. When you're deep in some complex, layered code, it is so easy to get lost. You're staring at this sea of nested brackets, parentheses. It's a mess. It's kind of like trying to find the individual layers in a really complex haircut. But what if we could just add some color, some highlights to make every single layer pop?
And this is exactly how we do it. This is how you add those highlights. First, you turn on bracket pair colorization. Instantly, every pair of matching brackets gets its own color. Then, to make it even more obvious, you enable bracket pair guides, which draws these nice little lines connecting them. And just like that, what was a tangled mess of code is now this perfectly orderly, easy-to-follow structure.
So, a good look is one thing, right? But a real pro, a master stylist, also has to be efficient. And that's where the power tools come in. We're talking about the settings that automate all the boring, tedious stuff so you can focus on what really matters, the creative work. Seriously, Think of these settings as your own personal automated assistant. It's like a 3-step process. Step 1, auto closing brackets. You type an opening bracket, and boom, the closing one is already there. Step 2, auto indent. You hit enter, and your next line is already indented perfectly. And step 3, this one is my favorite, the magic of format on save. The second you hit save, your entire file just snaps into perfect, consistent formatting. You don't have to do any manual cleanup. It's just a seamless, polished finish every single time.
But this automation, it's not just about cleaning things up. The tools are so smart, they can actually anticipate what you're going to do next. This quote here describes a setting called javascript.suggest.complete function calls. What that means is the editor doesn't just suggest a function name. No, it fills in the entire parameter signature for you. It's literally like having an assistant who hands you the exact tool you need the moment before you even realize you need it.
And of course, this is all about you, so you get to customize the kind of help you receive. These editor.suggest.show settings let you pick and choose. Do you want suggestions for keywords? How about function names? Or maybe code snippets? You get to tailor all that assistance to fit your personal workflow. It's like walking up to a shelf of styling products and picking out the exact ones you need for the job.
Okay, the main cut is done, the styling is complete, but we're not finished yet. Now it's time for that final inspection. This section is all about the finishing touches, the pro-level tools that give you absolute control and let you check your work with total precision. You know how a great stylist, before the client ever leaves the chair, will walk around and check the cut from every single angle? Well, in coding, we do the exact same thing. It's called diffing. It's just comparing the before and after versions of a file. And the editor lets you decide how do you want to see those changes. And you basically have 2 main ways to do this. You can set render side by side to true, which gives you the super clear parallel view. You've got the old code on the left, the new code on the right. It's kind of like looking at your work in 2 mirrors at once. Or you can set it to false for an inline view, where you see all the changes right there in a single file. It's totally your call on how you want to do that final quality check. Now here's a pro tip. What happens when you're working on a really tough job? I'm talking about a huge, super complex file. Well, our source file has a great setting for that, diffeditor.max computation time. It's basically a safety net. If the editor is trying to compare a massive file and it's taking too long, in this case, more than 5 seconds, it just stops. This is awesome because it keeps your editor from freezing up and lets you handle even the biggest, most demanding projects like a total pro. And now for the last final touch, the signature. What every artist puts on their work. This line of code, which looks a little cryptic, is actually the template for your editor's window title. And you can customize it to show exactly what you want to see. The file you're on, the project name, maybe even a little dot to show you have unsaved changes. It is quite literally put in your name on the door of your own digital salon. Okay, let's take a step back and just look at what we've done here. We started with this standard, generic, out-of-the-box tool. But through a whole series of smart, deliberate choices, we've shaped it and molded it into something so much more. It's time for the big reveal. This right here is the art of the code editor. It was never just about changing some colors or picking a font. No, it's about taking a generic tool and carefully, meticulously shaping it until it becomes a seamless, personal extension of your own mind. It's an instrument that's been perfectly tuned to the unique way that you think and that you create. And so that just leaves us with one final question. We've shown you the tools, we've walked through the techniques, we've even talked about the philosophy behind it all. Now, it's your turn. You get to step into the salon. So what's your signature style going to be? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.